Let me tell you something. Magmar is phenomenal support. And yes, I know this guy is blue as well, but Magmar is phenomenal support. And if you are not using it, why? Do I have to come to your door and knock on it to spread the word of Magmar to you? I mean, technically, that's kind of what I'm doing with this video, but Magmar is a great Pokemon here. And honestly, I don't think it's a hot take. It is a step down for Magmar to evolve into Magmortar. Like, aside from Magmar's poor, unfortunate circumstances for what its head looks like, Magmar to Magmortar, nah, nah. The 25 extra special attack, not worth it. The 10 extra defenses, not worth it. The 10 extra HP, not worth it. Magmortar, well, just look at it. It's bulkier than Magmar, sure, maybe, but it's also slower than Magmar, which is not great. And honestly, there are better special attacking Pokemon out there compared to Magmortar. Like, it's really unfortunate for Magmortar and Electivire. Like, they are cool designs, but yeah, unfortunately, Electabuzz and Magmar are just like Dusclops. They are straight up better than their evolutions, thanks to the Eviolite. And honestly, you could at least make the case for Electivire because Electivire, yeah, it's got some support tools in its own kit that can make it into an interesting damage dealer with some support, but Magmortar just did not draw any of the straws. Like, they drew the lots. And even the short straw was gone before Magmortar showed up. Like, unfortunately, Magmortar just, it doesn't get the greatest tools or anything like that. And honestly, going back to the whole Magmar thing, the more and more I look at its move kit, the better it gets, because I keep finding things I didn't even know that Magmar got. So let's jump into Showdown and bring up that window right here. So as far as Magmar's stats go, it's a mono fire type, and thanks to the fact that it can evolve into Magmortar, it is able to hold the Eviolite, which is phenomenal. This thing gets access to Follow Me, which is great for redirection, and it's got two phenomenal abilities. I'm going to say that word a lot in this video, I have a feeling, because honestly, I just really like Magmar. Magmar has been a great Pokemon for me for Scarlet and Violet, thanks to the Follow Me and Eviolite stuff. So as far as our abilities go, we have Flame Body, which is a 30% chance to burn a Pokemon that makes contact with Magmar, and we have Vital Spirit as well. So Vital Spirit makes it so that you cannot be put to sleep. So depending on which ability you want to run on Magmar, that might determine what Terra type you want to run. If you're running Vital Spirit, there's not really much point in running Terra Grass on Magmar, but if you're running Flame Body and you want to run Terra Grass to make sure that Spore and Rage Powder doesn't redirect away your attacks or put you to sleep, absolutely go for that. Or the other thing you could technically do is you could technically run Vital Spirit to protect yourself from being put to sleep, and then maybe say run something like, say, Terra Ghost, so you don't have to worry about Mousehold's Pop Bomb. Or what you could even do is you could run Flame Body and Terra Steel so that you resist Pop Bomb, and then you have a really good odds of burning Mousehold. Honestly, I run Terra Grass Flame Body Magmar for Urshifu Rapid Strike in restricted formats, or at least legendary allowed formats, and it has been delightful. I do the same thing with Electabuzz and Static for that exact same reason. But Follow Me, redirecting away a physical attack into Magmar can be great. And I want to highlight something too about Flame Body. The wording here is a Pokemon making contact with this Pokemon. That doesn't necessarily mean special or physical split. Some special attacks technically make contact, so it's really, really niche and you have to know your mechanics, but some special attacks can make contact, which means you might luck out and get a burn when you're least expecting it, because maybe your opponent has something like, say, Leftovers or Grassy Terrain support, so they're getting a little tiny bit of chip HP back. If you get that burn, well, now you're kind of counteracting it. Like, burning a special attacker, not really the game-winning play right there, but the nice thing here is if you can offset, like, say, a Leftovers or Grassy Terrain by burning them, you can then start getting back some ground there. Like, you don't have to worry about them progressively getting back more and more HP as the time goes on. Like, maybe they have a redirection of their own and you don't have a spread move. That's the main point I wanted to get out there right there. Like, Magmar can technically burn a special attack or two, depending on if the special attack does make contact. And the one move that I can think of right off the top of my head is Draining Kiss. I've unfortunately had that that happen where I've gone for Draining Kiss only to get burned. And yeah, I was like, oh, well, that wasn't a pleasant surprise. But the other thing can also be said too. There are some items, like say the Punching Glove, that can make it so that you don't make physical contact with your physical move, or the protective pads. That's another held item right there. And then some physical moves just don't make contact in general. So again, you really need to know your mechanics to figure that out, but just keep that in mind as well. Like, sometimes you might think you're gonna get that burn because you got hit with a physical move, but say maybe your opponent's running a Alolan Decidueye right there, where Alolan Decidueye's ability Long Reach makes it so that physical attacks don't do contact. Like, something like that. Just keep that in mind in your back pocket. Like, you do have to be a little bit weary, but the nice thing here is the majority of physical moves make contact, and they require an item to protect them from not making contact, or an ability of some sort. And it is very easy to turn off items or abilities depending on how you build your team. So let's talk about Magmar's stats here, because I rambled on long enough about the Flame Body Vital Spirit thing. So Magmar's HP 65, attack 95, defense 57. Don't let that fool you. The Eviolite makes this thing incredibly bulky on the physical side, depending on how you invest. 100 special attack, 85 special defense, and 93 speed. Now, just for comparison, bring up Magmortar right here. You have 75 HP as opposed to the 65. Your attack stays the same at 95. You go up to 67 defense. You go up to 125 special attack, 95 special defense, but you drop that 83 speed. Magmar has a lot of competition in the form of redirection Pokemon. Like, you have female Indeedee, you have Electabuzz, you have Mousehold, and with the exception of the Indeedee, all those other redirection Pokemon are faster. So on the off chance that they go for a non-follow me and just try to either go for damage or support to disrupt you, like say maybe you were taking an Electroweb off of Electabuzz, that could be bad, because Magmar is a support Pokemon that can do some decent damage. Like, the 100 special attack and the 95 attack, not terrible at all. Like, it's kind of nice that Magmar does have some more moderate offensive stats, because now Magmar can do a little bit of damage while also having the support option there. Like, if you're desperate enough, like a Helping Hand Overheat from Magmar could be funny, and could also pick up some really good damage. Golden Go is really, really prevalent in Reg H right now, and it's a really good Pokemon, so being able to hit that thing with a Fire-type attack, if it doesn't Terastallize, could be really nice. So let's talk about some different points right here, which means I'm going to get out a calculator, and we're going to have some fun with Magmar's EVs for a quick second. So if you want to like look into your HP investment and like say go up to max HP, you hit 172. Honestly, you don't really need the full HP right there. You could probably go down to something like say 169, so like 228 EVs. And if you want to throw on, like, say, a Bold Nature right here, you hit 84 defense right there. So without any investment, that's an extra 42 points from the Eviolite. With your special defense, as it is without a beneficial nature, you're at 105. So right there, you're getting an extra 52 points. So Magmar is already getting some decent special bulk, even without a beneficial nature. But if you want to throw that on there, you could hit 115, or maybe you want Magmar's special attack to do some damage. You could even throw a Modest Nature on there, and you could hit 132. So we'll play around with some numbers here. Like, I competed in Louisville, and one of my opponents had a Terra Ghost Magmar, which had Overheat, and man, it was not fun to take the Overheat by any means, but It was nice to be able to have my Incineroar hit it with a knockoff to remove that Eviolite, and that did make it a lot more manageable. So keep that in mind. The Eviolite is a really, really important item for Magmar here, to get that extra bulk. So if you have the bold nature right here and hit the 84, and you start investing right here, if you go up to 90 by putting in 36 EVs, well, that's an extra 45 points right there. You're currently sitting at 135 defense, which could be great. If you keep going a little bit further, like say up to 100, that's an extra 50 points. I kind of like my Magmar to be more bulky than damage dealing. Like when I run the moves on Magmar, I like to I like to know that I can live a hit, especially on the physical side, because I mentioned Urshifu earlier. When I came up with my ideal Magmar spread, I wanted to be able to live Surging Strikes no problem, especially if I went Terra Grass, and then that way too I could potentially burn it. But I also wanted to be able to live a close combat, so that was something I kept in mind, so I kind of opted more for a physical spread. Now, what I think could be really nice here is if you bring up Magmar to 180, as far as your EVs go in a bold nature, you hit 110 right there. So now you have an extra 55 points. Magmar is really bulky on the physical side between the HP and the physical defense. Now you can invest a little bit into your special defense right here. And I like the idea of going up to, say, something like 112. And then that way, if you run into like a Porygon 2 and it gets a download boost, it's going to get an attack boost instead of a special attack boost right there. So 112 is nice because that is an extra 56 points right there. And yeah, I'm kind of questioning my own math right there. So we're going to divide 112 by 2 right here. Yeah, you get an extra 56 points right there. So you're going up to about 158 on the special defense, and then 100 and or I don't remember what I said there. You're going up to 162. Are we? Can you do math at 8 o'clock in the morning, Shucko? Anyways, you hit 168 on the special defense thanks to the Eviolite at this point. And then with the 110 hitting the extra 55 points right there, you are going up to 165. So only 3 points difference. That is really nice. Now that leaves some room for some extra EVs to go into either your special attack or your speed. So you could go up to, like, say, maybe 114 for the extra 4, and then just put the remaining 44 into your special attack if you want. Or you could do, say, like maybe 12 into your special attack, get a little bit of extra speed, maybe hit 118. I just want to compare something right quick, so we're going to bring up Pelipper, because Pelipper is also really prevalent, and I just want to see what Pelipper hits with max speed, because Pelipper is considerably slower than Magmar. So you hit 117 on a neutral nature. With a timid nature, you're going to hit 128. So keep this in mind. If you're running up against, say, modest Pelipper, and Pelipper caps out at 117, you can speed creep Pelipper by exactly 1 point. Maybe they're going for a Tailwind. You could maybe potentially burn Pelipper's partner, like maybe Pelipper has, like, say, a Basculegion on the field next to it, or even an Archelodon. You could try to burn the partner Pokemon. So let's talk about some moves. Let's talk about the good stuff right here. For starters, Magmar, as I mentioned, does get Follow Me. Follow Me redirects away attacks. You get Will-O-Wisp, which is what I was starting to type right before I talked about that. Will-O-Wisp, although it does have 85 accuracy, it is very, very reliable for being able to burn the target. And if you are not playing Flame Body, Will-O-Wisp could be a really strong choice to throw into Magmar for your move right there. And then that way you can have that burn support without having to rely on taking damage from Flame Body. You could also run Sunny Day. Now, this could be great for two things. One, it could be great for removing opposing weather. And two, this could be great for turning on sun-based abilities like, say, Chlorophyll or Solar Power. And honestly, when we get out of Reg H and Paradox Pokemon are allowed, you can have this to turn on Photosynthesis. So that could be really, really nice. at the end of the day for some support. Magmar also gets access to Helping Hand. This is great since it gives you an extra 50% boost to your damaging output. It gets knockoff, which could be great for dealing with opposing Magmar, opposing Electabuzz, even Incineroar having a berry, like having knockoff to remove that, and then the Incineroar just doesn't get its HP back. Phenomenal. Great stuff right there. Another good move that Magmar gets access to, Overheat. Massive, massive fire type damage, especially if you have a Sunsetter on the field already, like say Torkoal. I was going to say like Ninetales, but you never see Ninetales. If anything, you see the Alolan variant. But Overheat could be great for dealing with damage to Goldengo. Like, it does lower your special attack 2 stages, but that's fine. You go for that one explosive Overheat, and now you don't have to worry about your special attack being dropped. Now you can just support and support and support with Follow Me, Helping Hand, and whatever move of choice that you have in that 4th slot. So you could go for the Overheat. But another great move that Magmar has that I feel like is really underrated is Lava Plume. Lava Plume hits everything on the field. This is a move that is blockable by Wide Guard, but you can use this to hit your own partner, which that can be great if you want to put Baxcalibur right next to it, since Thermal Exchange boosts up Baxcalibur's attack 1 stage when it gets hit with a fire move, and it protects Baxcalibur from being burned. So Lava Plume could be great for something like Baxcalibur next to Magmar. Honestly, I just used it in my most recent Sneasler video. There's going to be one video in between this, but 2 videos ago, I used Baxcalibur and Magmar together with Lava Plume. It was great. I liked it. That said, I think I only got to use it in the 1 match. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyways, Magmar could be great next to Baxcalibur. But another thing too, especially because Lava Plume is such a great move, is it synergizes really nice with Flash Fire Pokemon as well. Since Flash Fire gives you a boost to your fire type attacks after the Flash Fire Pokemon is hit. It gives them a fire type immunity as well, which means a terrestrialization on a Flash Fire Pokemon could be great into a typing that would otherwise be weak to fire, like say grass or steel. So you could do something like that. I just grabbed Ceruledge because that was the first thing that I saw. But case in point, as far as Flash Fire Pokemon go, you get access to the likes of Ceruledge, Hisuian Arcanine, Heatran when legendary Pokemon are allowed again, Armarouge, Chandelure, Colossal, which honestly, I forget Colossal even gets Flash Fire, but you get the idea. Like, you have some pretty decent Flash Fire Pokemon here. Not gonna lie, I kind of like Typhlosion. Like, I did do that with an Armarouge team as well. Like, I had Lava Plume Typhlosion, so that could be kind of fun. But the point is, Magmar having access to the Lava Plume is a great, great support option as well. And plus, Lava Plume also has a 30% chance to burn the Pokemon that get hit with it too. So really good support right there for being able to burn Pokemon. Now, if they're holding the Covert Cloak, you're going to have to rely on Flame Body a little bit. But you can only hold 1 Covert Cloak in an official match, so there you go. Just some food for thought. As far as some other things that Magmar gets, it gets access to Acid Spray. This could be great for setting up special attackers next to Magmar, since the target takes a -2 special defense drop right there. So maybe you're actually playing Goldengo next to your Magmar, or maybe Primarina, both of which are heavy-hitting special attackers. You soften something up with an Acid Spray, they take a -2 special defense drop. Great. Now that Hyper Voice or Make It Rain are going to do major amounts of damage. Or another really nice thing that Magmar gets access to, Clear Smog. Clear Smog undoes any stat changes to the target Pokemon, and this can be phenomenal for dealing with Dondozo. If Dondozo goes Terra Grass, which is a fairly common Terra type on Dondozo, not only does it become weak to poison, but Clear Smog will remove all of its boosts even after it gets Tatsugiri in its mouth, which means Dondozo can become significantly easier to deal with, especially if you have a Terra type that makes it so that you don't have to worry about taking super effective damage from Wave Crash. That could be phenomenal. Clear Smog is a great move, and plus, Clear Smog does not have an accuracy value. It will hit. It doesn't have to worry about checking accuracy. So if your opponent is playing like Minimize Muck or something ridiculous like that, or like Minimize Muck with Power of Alchemy copying Moody Boosts, and then Flamigo right next to them with Co-Star, you don't have to worry about the minimize. You can just undo it like that. So anyways, Magmar gets Clear Smog, which is a phenomenal option right here. And then some other things that Magmar does get. You do get Mach Punch, which could be funny for some weakness policy shenanigans if you want to have that right next to you. So you do have access to that. You do get Taunt, which Taunt was honestly one of those moves that kind of surprised me that Magmar gets access to, which is great for shutting down status right there. So that could be really, really nice. Honestly, the more you look at Magmar with the Eviolite, it can be a very strong contender to be on a team slot over Incineroar. So maybe you don't even want to run Incineroar and you want to run Magmar instead. You definitely could for all means. And plus, Magmar gets a phasing move in the form of Roar, so you could phase something out. Like maybe you're worried about your opponent setting up. Like maybe you're worried about your opponent going for a couple nasty plots on something that's not named Golden Go because Good is Gold protects it from status moves. But maybe your opponent is setting up like a body press mon, like say Hisui and Gudra, and you just roar it away. Imagine your opponent spends all this time getting up to +6 defense. They're ready to start clicking body press, and you just roar them away, especially with a Terra Ghost Magmar. That could be hilarious, honestly. So, honestly, I don't think there's really that much else as far as the moves. I think I kind of covered them all. I mean, it does get Scary Face, so there is some speed control, which is great. So you could do that. And you do get access to Leer, which could also lower the target's physical defense one stage, and it's also a spread move. So just some more food for thought for some other moves. But anyways, I really hope I sold you on Magmar. And one last thing I'm going to hit you up with for what I personally like with Magmar is for my fire move of choice, I do like Lava Plume. Follow me, Clear Smog. And then the fourth move is usually a toss-up between Helping Hand and Protect, depending on what I'm feeling for the team. But I really like something like this as far as Magmar goes. And then this way too, I have a little bit of damage with Lava Plume and Clear Smog. I don't have to worry about being Taunt Bait because I have Follow Me and Helping Hand as only my 2 status moves, while I have 2 damaging moves. So that could be really nice, but you could also trade out the Lava Plume for, say, Overheat, and you go from there. And then too, if you have Helping Hand, you don't necessarily have to worry about having Sunny Day. And then that way, too, you can just boost up your partner Pokemon regardless of if they are going to benefit from the sun or not. So there's Magmar in a nutshell. Hope I sold it to you. Hope you guys really like it. And if you didn't like Magmar to begin with, I hope I maybe put it out there to potentially change your mind. Anyways, let me know what you think of this thing down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.